Alf, how are you? eBay has officially announced a PSA grading option, but there's a couple little nuggets that I haven't seen talked about that I think are really interesting, and we have got price points on it now. $39.99 to add PSA grading onto sports cards, $250 and up. But again, like I said, there's a couple little nuanced things that we need to touch on in today's video. Before I dive in, huge thanks to today's video sponsor, Pristine Auction. You're looking for sports cards, non-sports, sports memorabilia, looking for all the goodness. It is over there at Pristine Auction. Pop culture items. Oh, you can't see it up here, but I've got a signed hoverboard from Back to the Future 2 with the entire main cast, including Michael J. Fox. I got it from Pristine. I also got my son a Bo Jackson, full-size Bo Jackson. Yes, that Bo Jackson. Tecmo Bowl, the Raiders. Full-size helmet for my son. All the good stuff over there at Pristine. $25 off your first auction victory with the SCD code. And if you want to consign items over at Pristine, there's a special deal if you let them know that the Sports Card Dad sent you. Today we're talking about PSA, and if you are a first-time submitter to PSA, take $25 off your first submission with the SCD25 promo code. You only got to send them one card minimum, $25 off your first order with the SCD25 code at the shipping and billing screen. All right, this new service being offered by eBay PSA, we knew it was coming. Didn't know exactly when, but knew it was coming. And man, I really could have used this over the last couple of weeks. I bought a couple of Caitlin Clark cards that I would have absolutely just pressed the $39.99 button to have it go directly from Authenticity Guarantee. Because remember, for raw cards that are $250 and up, it's going to go to Authenticity Guarantee. Try to say that 7 times fast. Authenticity Guarantee. It's going to go to Authenticity Guarantee, and then it's going to go to grading. It's the Value Plus service. The one thing I like too about this offering here at $39.99 is that it's a 20 business day turnaround time. So it's not, bulk where you're waiting. I just had a PSA order pop. I had my grades pop. And it was there since January 2nd. So it had been about 85, 90 days or so that it was over there PSA. This is going to be a faster turnaround time. Now, with that PSA order that where the grades just popped, I did get some PSA 10s on some numbered Caitlin Clark rookie cards. So I actually did get the email that said, hey, buddy, there's going to be some upcharge on this thing. However, I also did get a PSA 4 on a modern card. So we're going to go through all of that. That'll be a whole separate video coming up, that PSA reveal. Shout out to the Sports Card Strategies Show, Paul. I saw this where they actually had kind of a screenshot of what this thing looks like as you're buying a card. You just click a button there, $39.99, to add the PSA grading to it. I think it's a good idea that they started with this level at $39.99. My assumption here is that they're probably going to graduate to multiple options at checkout in time. Obviously, they don't want to roll it out like that. They don't necessarily want every single card that's being bought on eBay to then now go to PSA for grading. Kind of slow roll it in here with a $39 charge and only for cards that are $250 and up so that they can gauge the volume that they're getting. My assumption is eventually, a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, you'll be able to add value bulk, for $18 or $20 or whatever it is to a card that you buy, any card that you buy on eBay. Hell, they're probably going to have just a separate grading team that handles all of that stuff. To me, that's such a massive game changer. Here's an example of a couple of Caitlin Clark cards that I bought. I've got probably 7 Caitlin Clark cards that I've been buying kind of in this zone. They're in kind of the $400 to $800 range that I'm buying raw that I want to send off to grading. And how I'm doing it now is I'm basically just kind of buying them, and then I'm going to put together a package, send it off to PSA. I'm going to sweat, hopefully it doesn't get lost or stolen in the mail. And then it arrives. Hopefully everything goes okay. This is live now, and it will cut out so much friction of having to sweat this out. And even for me, if the cost is an extra $5, $10 on a card, $15 to send it into grading as opposed to mailing it to me and mailing it out, the time part of this too. You got to put a package together. You got to print off all the stuff. You got to send it off to PSA, or I can just buy a card, and for certain cards, not every card, but for certain cards, I just click a button, takes care of it, and we're all good. I also did this on ComC, a similar type situation where I bought a Caitlin Clark Prism, just a base Prism card just to test this out, sent it off to PSA with a click of a button. It came back a couple weeks ago. I did get a PSA 10 on it. I sent it to eBay directly through ComC. I sold it. I get paid. I never even touched the card. Here's one nugget that I haven't seen talked about that I think is important. I reached out to PSA just for some added clarification. One thing that they sent back here, and again, I think this is more important for sellers than anything else, eBay sellers. Buyers should see the new feature appear over the next few weeks for all individual raw non-autograph cards. So these are for non-autograph cards priced $250 plus and above with more than 2 images in the listing. I'll say that again, with more than 2 images in the listing. So if you're selling cards that are $250 plus, make sure there's 3 images in the listing. And the reason why is because somebody might be more apt to buy a card. If they know that, if the buyer knows that, you know what, I just want to send this directly off to PSA grading. If you have 1 image for your raw card and it's a great card, it's a $500 card, a $700 card or whatever, and someone otherwise would have clicked the send it off to PSA button, you're competing against other people that have more images for the raw cards. Make sure that you have at least 3 images in your eBay listing so that is an option for the buyer. I think that's an important thing to note here. You don't need to register for a PSA account in order to add PSA grading to your purchase. When a card is purchased with PSA grading, the seller sends the card directly to eBay's Authenticity Guarantee service at no cost to the buyer or seller for inspection. After the card passes inspection, it is sent to PSA for grading. Once grading is completed, card is shipped to the buyer. The card does not pass Authenticity Guarantee. It is returned to the seller and the buyer's purchase is refunded. And that's how it always is. Any item that passes PSA grading will be final sale and not eligible for a return. So if the card gets graded, it's not eligible for return. That's a final sale there. eBay is offering free shipping of graded cards from PSA to buyers until June 30th, 2025. So over the next few months, you try this thing out. There's not going to be an added shipping charge once it goes to PSA after it's been graded back to you. So that could be something after June 30th. There's a surcharge there for that shipping back. But again, this is all about convenience. And I think that for a lot of people, this is going to make sense. It's not for every card. It certainly isn't. And maybe there'll be a time again where we've got multiple service level options. I think that that's inevitable at some point. It's not going to be tomorrow. I think they're going to take some time and just make sure they have this whole thing streamlined. It's working well. But eventually, I think there's also going to be a bulk option. Maybe it's a year down the road. Maybe it's 2 years down the road. And you'll be buying a $50 card, adding on the $18, $20 fee or whatever. And that's it. I will note too, the $39.99 fee for Value Plus essentially is what they're charging you here. It's exactly the same price as what you would pay if you were just doing a regular submission through PSA. $39.99, $250 plus card, non-autographed cards. It's a 20 business day turnaround time estimated. And it's pretty solid to try it out. This also states that it's only eligible right now for US buyers. That's important. There's a lot of global buyers on eBay and a lot of Canadian buyers. So I think that's important to point out as well. So this is just another way that PSA, eBay, companies in the space trying to make this as frictionless as possible. And I know that you all can relate to the sinking feeling when you're having to ship cards anywhere. And this could be $10 cards, $50 cards. It could be $5,000 cards. Our prized possessions, they hit the mail and you're just kind of like, you have it insured, you're hoping for the best. And look, the majority of the time, it all works out totally fine. I think over my lifespan here in the hobby of all the shipments going back and forth, I've had a couple of insurance claims that I've had to get involved in, but otherwise everything has made it just fine. But it still is something that, you're looking for convenience. People are looking for a way to buy, sell, trade. And so this new feature is going to open up a lot of doors. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, my friends. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.